Good morning, everyone. I hope you can hear me well and we are live at Tacros Education. Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. It's a Saturday morning and the sun is up. And we're here spending our time, maybe an hour or so, just to talk about the new things that are happening, that are going to happen definitely in our education system in the Philippines. Um, Please go on your comment section right now whether you're listening in and focus on on this video, or you're doing your laundry while listening, cooking, drinking your coffee if you're a late morning person. Regardless, welcome and good morning. So I'm looking at our screen right now, and there's a rundown of where we're coming from. Second participants is teachers JC from Iligan City. This is our Tama si Teacher JC. This is our second episode or webinar episode for our series on the three-term DepEd school year calendar. Ayan, from Iligan City. Welcome back, Teacher JC, and everyone who attended last Saturday. So this is our second episode for the series. Last week, we talked about the three-term. We introduced ourselves, no, to the three-term calendar of DepEd, which will be required for all public schools and not yet mandatory for all private K to 12 schools in the Philippines. But regardless, we want to know more about what the new DepEd order wants us to do and how we would try to rearrange everything. They have given us budget of work. And last week, we also introduced one of our newest AI tools over at Gabay. So Gabay is an AI ecosystem created by Tacros Education to help teachers around the world. Okay, especially in the Philippines. So welcome to our second episode. We will talk about formative and summative assessments. But before we jump to our AI tools, we will also understand the importance of formative and summative assessment in light of the three-term school year calendar. And when we get to familiarize ourselves, we I will then demo our new AI tools to help teachers create formative and summative assessment aligned to the three-term budget of work that DepEd has shared for all of us. We will improve our quality structure of assessment design. And then let's see also, no, if we have time, we can also focus on learning interactive tools with Classroom HQ. So thank you everyone for being here. Let's all welcome our CEO, Christian Manansala, to welcome us to this second webinar series.
Kamusta po kayo? Magandang araw po sa inyo. Ako po si Christian Manansala, Chief Executive Officer ng Tagpros Education na nakabase po dito sa Virginia, dito po sa Amerika. To all our teachers and school leaders, thank you for being here today. As we prepare for the transition to a new three-term curriculum, many teachers are now facing major adjustments in lesson planning, assessments, pacing, and curriculum alignment. And honestly, this is not easy. Teachers are being asked to adapt quickly to sudden changes in educational system even before the school year begins. That is why AI tools like Gabay can become valuable support systems for educators. This is not to replace you, teachers, but to help you work more efficiently and confidently. AI can help generate lesson plans, assessments, classroom activities, and organize spacing guides aligned to the revised curriculum, allowing teachers to spend less time on repetitive preparation and more time focusing on students. But let me emphasize this clearly. AI can generate content, but teachers provide judgment, creativity, and human connection. The teacher remains the most important part of education. Technology should strengthen teachers, not replace them. And today, many people, not only you and not only me, are very frustrated. We are frustrated by corruption, by systems that move slowly, by constant changes, by lack of resources, by paperwork that keeps increasing, and by the feeling that hardworking people like us are often carrying the heaviest burden. And despite all of that, you teachers still show up every single day. You prepare lessons, you guide students, and still inspire hope for the future. That is why education still matters. And that is why you matter. Today, session is about preparing ourselves for this transition responsibly and confidently through the proper use of AI and Gabay. Because with the right mindset and tools, this change can become not just a challenge, but an opportunity for growth and innovation in education. Maraming salamat po sa inyo. Magpahinga po kayo ng maigi. Alagaan po ninyo ang pamilya ninyo. Asahan po ninyong lagi na nasa likod po ninyo kami. Marami pong salamat. Mabuhay po kayong lahat.
All right. So thank you, Mr. Christian Manansala. He's our CEO over at Tagros Education for that heartwarming message as we are all welcomed by everyone. So before I start our webinar for today, I'll just give a shout out to two important persons and group this Saturday because I'm supposed to be with them, but they're also here with me. I'm gonna give a shout out to my mother as well. My mother is one of my inspiration in building the Gabay AI tool. She's a public school teacher. She's a proud public school teacher. So I hope my mother is here. She's been saying, sana daw makasama siya. I hope she's here. She's a teacher as well. About to retire. I think my mother wants to retire now, but she's a public school teacher and has been in service for more than 30 years. So shout out to my mother, my mom. I want to give a shout out as well to a few students here. I know that we always have teacher students who are coming here. And I want to give a shout out to the class of Mr. Mark Hamisal over at PNU and to his MA EdTech class. So good morning to all of the students. Shout out naman if you're here, students of Mr. Hamisal from PNU. I'll see you later, but I asked them to be here with us as well. So we're very much connected, no? Student teachers, those taking their MAs are all here. All of us teachers, whether private or public, are also here. And thank you for the warm feedback, the very good feedback for episode one. And thank you, no, for yung mga candid, the candid, how do you call it? Your candid feedback on how our own explanation and webinar for the three-term calendar was very informative and very clear to all of you. So we are thankful for that, and for that we will continue with delivering a good session for all of you. Okay, so let's proceed for today's session. We will talk about assessment, and I have entitled our discussion today as deliberate pacing, deeper mastery assessment in the three-term DepEd academic framework. So last week we talked about how do we design lesson plans, how do we design unit plans for or DLLs for the three-term academic framework of DepEd, and we were able to share with you an AI tool that could help you create your unit plans easier. For this series or episode, we will talk about assessments. Okay, so here are our talking points for this morning. Be familiar with the assessment principles and guidelines as stated in the three-term DepEd calendar. We will explore Gabay's new AI tools for formative and summative assessment aligned to the three-term budget of work. And we will explore Gabay interactive classroom HQ tools that support assessments aligned to the three-term budget of work. Okay. Um, okay. Just a review. Here's the thing that we did last week. A review as well that there are main reasons behind why we went from 4 quarters to 3 terms. Okay, in the 4 quarter, the challenges involve pacing, focus, and friction. What does that mean? Number one, pacing. Bakit nga ba problema ang pacing sa 4 quarter challenges? In a 4 quarter school year, pacing usually means fragmented instructional time. Fragmented means basag-basag. Okay? Literally, that's the meaning of fragmented. Basag-basag yung instructional time, hindi siya mabuo-buo dahil ang daming mga transitions, ang daming mga kailangang gawin, ang daming nakasingit. Kailangan mag-costume na naman tayo ng gulay kasi ano nga ba yung gulay month? Nutrition month na naman kasi, di ba? Sisingit siya. Tapos pag August, buwan ng wika, ang dami na namang pa-contest, di ba? Ganyan-ganyan. Tapos minsan, yung mga pa-contest, nangyayari siya sa school. Tapos magkakaroon ng district, magkakaroon ng division, magkakaroon ng regional, sa national. So ang dami-daming nangyayari. Tapos babagyo, lilindol, lahat na nangyayari. Tapos meron pa tayong mga local holidays, di ba? Holiday ng town, fiesta, holiday ng province, 'di ba? Holiday ng region, 'di ba? Yung mga ganun. So sa dami-dami nababasag yung buong instructional time. That is what we mean by fragmented. Basag-basag. It's not continuous, it's disrupted. Tapos yung focus, because there are 4 quarters, it's very easy for our students to lose their focus. Even us, di ba? Nawawala yung focus natin. Sa basag-basag na nga, ang dami ng disruption, yung parang naghahabol tayo kasi matatapos na naman yung quarter. Di ba? So hahabulin natin para hindi na tayo mag-extend at mag-extend. Okay? So there's much what is happening is that we're trying to cover all. It's the it's the curriculum breadth and there's no depth to it. Okay? Friction, redundant administrative grading workloads and frequent class disruption. Ang dami-daming, parang imagine you know, 4 sets of assessments, 4 sets of quarterly tests, okay? And then 4 sets of grades, 4 sets of cards. Okay, why are this? Why I'm gonna say this because I work in a school. Sa school po namin, since 2020, naka 3 term na kami. So during the pandemic, we went from 4 quarters to 3 term. Kasi itong mga sinabi kong mga dahilan na to, ito na yung mga dahilan din na nakita namin why we transitioned to 3 term. Okay? So why were we able to do that? Because of our certain PASCO accreditation, we were deregulated and we experimented on a 3 term. So that means DepEd allowed us, but we were able to target all the competencies stated by DepEd, and we were able to do that in a 3 term. Okay, so for me, I'm sharing this because of my 6 years, almost 6 years of experience in the 3 term. However, sasabihin nyo, sir, kasi ang dali-dali eh. Baby, you're so lucky you work in a school with a lot of resources. Yes. Yes and no. Yes, because we were given time to transition. Tapos yung mga books namin, naka 4 quarters lahat eh. So we had time to transition, we had time to work on our own. Okay? So I think that's the advantage if you're given time, if you're given tools as well. Okay? However, from the 4 quarter, tingnan natin ano ba yung strategic advantages. And I can say this as well because these are the same advantages that we had when we started in 2020. Okay, number one, pacing. Okay, remember that in the school calendar of DepEd in the 3 term, there are allotted days. Merong allotted days for the opening. There is a sacred instructional days, and there are last days of whatever closing things that you need to do. That is the same thing that we did as well. Okay, so there is protected time. We don't usually insert so many activities. We put our activities either at the beginning or either at the closing. Okay, why? Because we need to make sure that that sacred time is being used for instructional time. Okay? Unless may mga disruption na how do you call that, bagyo or mga hazards or whatever. Okay? So the focus really is that because meron ng sacred time for teaching, that is what happened with mastery. That led to mastery. We were able to focus there because we remove all the distraction. Okay, and this is the thing na maganda. If you've noticed, the aral program, they're usually done outside the regular school calendar, di ba? But what's happening right now is we cannot simply do aral at summer class sa summer. Kasi dapat remediation yan. In some schools that I've worked with, private and public, their remediation before was actually integrated at the end of the day. Para yung mga bata, kung meron man silang paghihirap sa understanding, at that day, naaayos agad. Yung misconception. Medyo ata mahirap ng iayos pag hihintayin mo pa yung summer para lang gawin yung mga remediation and catching up. So I think this is the beauty of the three-term strategic advances. It gives us sacred time for teaching and integrate as well all the things that we've done. So just a review again, this is what we've discussed last week. A single academic term looks like this. Okay, there's an opening phase. Okay, 4 days usually, and this is only done once a year. Yung opening na dedicated. This is the time for you to gather baseline informations like academic, social, emotional, lahat ng mga test, lahat ng mga assessments dito ilalagay. Lahat ng mga health assessments. Okay? Preparation time ito, you introduce. Huwag yung dive agad. Nagda-dive kayo agad sa lesson, di ba? Last week sinabi nga natin, pag summer classes na, pag galing sa summer, pati si teacher, hindi rin ready kasi naka-summer vacation pa. Kung tayo mga professional and I don't know if you agree with me. Tell me if you agree with me. Tayo ang mga teachers, pag papasok na yung klase, di ba? Papasok na yung klase, tinatamad-tamad pa rin tayo. We're dragging our feet, di ba? Professional na tayo pero ganun pa rin yung feeling natin. How much more yung mga bata, di ba? Mga bata to, di ba? Mababa pa yung self-regulation nila. Tayo mga matatanda, dapat mataas na yung self-regulation. But every time the school year approaches, we feel a little bit lazy. We feel a little bit dragging our feet, di ba? Ganun tayo eh. So, anong gagawin natin? Lahat tayo mag-a-adjust. We are given an opening block at the beginning of the first term to adjust para i-adjust natin ang sarili natin. Hindi lang mga bata, pati ang mga teachers, right? And that's good, I think, because it's not sabak agad. Okay? You don't sabak agad. Next, phase 2, instructional. This is what we call as the instructional days. These are dedicated. The focus really is teach, 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 teach. Diba? Test for formative, test for summative, and then ika-culminating mo siya sa term exam. Okay? So ganun po yun. The instructional time is really dedicated here. Walang mga disruptions na dapat. If there are disruptions, they should be done or mga yung whatever na, I don't know, mga activities and everything, kailangan hindi siya ginagawa during school days. Kasi this is for instruction. Kaya nga ang sabi rin ng DepEd, kung merong, if there are certain disruptions, local holidays and whatever activities, ano yan ha, ika-catch up yan. Magkakaroon kayo ng catch-up day. Siguro mga Saturday classes, I don't know how you would do it. But most of the time, that is really the idea. You need to catch up. I remember in the 90s, sorry ha, I will reveal my age. In the 90s, when I was in elementary, mid-90s, I remember having Saturday classes as well because we will catch up. And that is the same thing, no? That what we will be doing. But notice, since our topic is assessment right now, all of those assessments will be done in phase 2. Okay? There's formative assessment, a lot of drills, and practice. And the DepEd 3-term actually says, dalawang assessment lang ang kailangan natin. Dalawang summative assessment at isang culminating term examination. So, na-reduce talaga yung ano natin, yung paggawa ng mga assessment. However, summative assessment 'yun. Kailangan marami ka ring formative drill so that you can see your students progressing. And then on phase 3, this is the end of term. The end of term is your closing block for each term. Okay, this is usually 8 to 10 days. Ayan. The focus is administrative work, yung paggawa ng grades, pag-check ng papers. So may dedicated time na rin po kayo, tayong mga teachers. Okay? There's intensive oral remediation as well. If there are students who really need support, there is a dedicated aral at the end. This is different pa rin na yung aral na to. There's still also oral remediation at the end of the day. 'Di ba? So nakapasok talaga siya. Meron pa siya sa culminating, okay? And then this is very good. Mandatory wellness breaks, both for learners and for teachers. Okay? This is how we're structuring it right now. Mandatory yung wellness break ni learners and teachers. Okay? Last week we talked about that. That the mandatory wellness break for learners and teachers is non-negotiable. Kailangan talaga yon. We need to give ourselves a rest. Okay? For everything and our students. So that pagdating ng opening ng second term or next term, we're all rejuvenated. Hindi tayo mukhang stress. Kasi naalala nyo ba, pag sa fourth quarter, dire-diretso right? As final test today, checking, bigayan ng ano yun. Habang nag-check ka ng final test, nag-prepare ka na rin ng susunod na lesson mo sa first quarter or sa next quarter. So, walang rest, walang time. Pero to be honest, di ba, kahit mag-wellness break tayo, I know a lot of teachers do this. Kahit naka-wellness break, ang ginagawa pa rin is still preparing lesson plans for the next lesson. I don't know if you're guilty of that. Let me know. Are you guilty of that as well? Yung kahit nakabakasyon kayo, naka-rest, nag-prepare na rin kayo ng mga lessons. Pero chill lang, hindi yung naghabol, di ba? Let me know. Ganun ba kayo? Let me know in the comment section if you're also like that. While you're on vacation, you're resting, pero may paunti-unti, pasundot-sundot na paggawa ng lesson plan, paggawa ng PowerPoint. I think that's part of the work that we do. Okay? Ayan. Shout out to my tita. My tita is there, also a public school teacher. I come from a family of teachers, by the way. So, yan. That's where my passion for teaching come from. Ang daming nagsasabi, true, tama, yes. I think that's a shared, no? Oo. Okay. Yan. Paano naman yung assessment? Paano yung mga assessment here? Okay, the assessment in the three-term DepEd academic framework, there are 4 mentions of assessment. Okay, number 1. The first one involves diagnosis. At the beginning of the school year, si BOSI, that means beginning of the school year. At the beginning of the school year, yung opening block na nasa first term lang, ang gagawin doon are your baseline data and their readiness. Lahat ng mga assessments, the national assessments, checking on the performance of students or maybe literacy skills of the student, baseline, siguro yung mga field area dito or yung mga EGRA or yung mga health, di ba? At the beginning, I know, no, kinukuha din yung baseline ng data ng height, weight, physical. Yun, lahat gagawin dito. For some private schools that I know, this is also the time when they do other diagnostic tests. I know that there are some private schools out here who are using independent standardized tests. Yung parang pre-test nila, or I think that's what they're calling, the pre-test, and then at the end of the school year, yung post-test, just so they know where the students are in. This is also the time that you can do that. So there are set national standard assessments, especially for public school. For private schools, this is also the time that you can do. I know, kasi merong mga standardized tests na ginagamit yung ibang private school. So this is the time. Okay. Now, within the lesson, within the instructional time, there are 2 important assessments. And these have not changed. Matagal na to eh. Just because nag-3-term tayo, hindi ibig sabihin na wala o bago na naman to. Ever since The idea of formative assessment and summative assessment has been there forever. Nagpalit man tayo ng curriculum, nagpalit man tayo ng calendar, it's always there. Okay? These two kinds of assessments are always there, yung formative and summative. Okay, I'm gonna stop right now, no? May nagme-message, Sir, ano po yung pre-test, post-test daw? Okay, in some schools, private schools, they have standardized tests. And usually, I don't think this is also in this is another form as well. It might be different from the public school, but like for example, they measure the literacy, so they have a partner, usually an independent partner that has the developed standardized test. So yun lang sinasabi ko, yung pre-test, post-test. Okay, at the end of the year, they also do that. So some schools do that. Okay, yung pre-test and post-test. Okay, now going back, yung formative and summative assessment, how you understood it before as yung formative, yung mga checking for understanding, drills, worksheets, and everything. Kung ano ang natutunan natin, iyan pa rin yan. Hindi nagbabago. Kailangan may mga activities. Hindi lang activities ha, hindi lang activities yung formative. The goal of formative is to check whether the students understood the lesson. These are not graded, but these are checked to see if the students are learning. And then the idea of formative is also to inform or tell the teacher, aba, nung nag-drill kami nung about the lesson, after ko mag-lesson, bagsak sila pa rin, mababa yung performance, that's a warning for the teacher. You need to review, tama ba yung pagtuturo mo? Masyado bang mahirap yung topic? So the idea of formative is, it tells you where the students are, side by side your objectives or the competencies. And if there's not an ideal result, it goes back to yourself as a teacher. Do I need to reteach? Do I need to focus on one skill? Usually, minsan, di ba, may mga skills sila na, yung item 1 to 3, parang nag-gets naman nila. Pero pagdating sa 4, 5, parang ang baba ng scores nila, hindi nila nakuha agad. So, pwede din ganun, yung micro or focusing targeted. Baka nag-gets nila yung buong lesson, pero pagdating sa skill na to, dito sila nahihirapan. So, as a teacher, hindi ka magpo-produce. Okay? Hindi ka magpo-produce. Hindi ka magpo-proceed. You have to go back. Ayan, there are people commenting, meron din daw po sa public. Yes, there are in public, there are in private for the pre-test and post-test. What I'm saying is that in private school, they also buy standardized tests. They buy, like for example, international benchmarking in Singaporean science and math. Kasi their curriculum. That's what I'm saying, yung standard. I'm not saying that wala sa public school. Meron yan. I know that meron. Pero in some private schools, they also subscribe to international standards benchmarking. Nag-international standards benchmarking din po kasi yung may ibang private schools. That's what I'm saying. So I hope you understand. I'm not saying na wala kayo ha. I'm not saying that wala kayo. Pero sinasabi ko, for some private schools who are subscribed to standardized tests like international benchmarking for English, yung mga ganon, meron po kasing mga ganon. Lalo na at they also do other Okay, gets natin? Let's not make it a comparison sa public and private. Okay, gets po natin? We're all in one education system. Got it po natin? Okay. Baka tayo eh. Ayan, ang haba na ng mga explanation sa comment section. Meron din po kami niyan, pre-test. Meron po lahat. Okay? I'm just saying that in some private schools, they are subscribed to international benchmarking. That's why they do pre-test and post-test. Okay? Okay, good. Ayan. Sabi ka ni Ma'am Maricel, importante, kahit public or private ka, may pre-test and post-test. Okay. So, yung formative, yan pa rin, no? Meron pa rin. Hindi yan nawawala. Okay? However, anong problema natin sa formative? For some teachers, especially if it's skill-based, dito na papasok yung mga those who are, for example, they expect a summative assessment of essay. Diba? Essay. Siyempre, what's the formative assessment of an essay test? Sige nga teachers, I'm gonna wait for everyone. If your summative assessment is an essay output, your output is an essay, what do you think should be the formative assessment? Your output is write an essay, a persuasive essay, convincing everyone, persuading everyone not to use plastic. Di ba? Not to use plastic and to save Mother Earth. What do you think should be the formative assessment? Outlining, very good. Multiple choice, what are the causes of, what are the bad effects of plastic? Ganun ba? Tama si Ma'am Michelle. It's outlining. That's the first step. Okay? To check the HOTS, okay na eh. I mean, okay na. You check the HOTS and your output is an essay, persuasive essay. What's your formative assessment? Drafting. Very good, Sir James. Sana hindi true or false. Sana hindi fill in the blanks. Kasi yung summative assessment is an essay. So dito papasok, ano yung formative assessment mo? Magsusulat din sila ng essay, di ba? Magda-draft sila, yung sabi ni Sir James, gagawa ng draft, mag-start sa outline and things like that. Okay, sentence construction, things like that. Pero alam niyo ba, here's the concern. Sa formative assessment, if the formative assessment is drafting an essay, dito nagkakaroon ng challenges ang teacher. Hindi nababalik agad yung mga essay ng mga bata. Kaya minsan, kailangan natin pag-isipan kung ang summative assessment mo or output mo is an essay and your formative assessments are drafts of an essay, ano yung latest concern natin dyan? We don't usually give the feedback na check agad. Kaya ang tagal, di ba? Kaya even in formative assessments, we need to be, creative. Diba? Hindi lang dapat multiple choice, true or false, whatever, kung essay ang ano mo, kailangan maghanap ka ng ways. I think that's the only thing that we need to understand in formative assessment. It's not enough to give tests and everything. Kailangan may feedback. And the feedback is timely. The feedback should be timely. So yun lang, no? A lot of our high school students, they complain. Nagpagawa ka ng essay test bukas pero hindi po pa nababalik yung draft nila. 'Di ba? So, ayun. Kaya sabi ni Ma'am Bel Gallardo, let's look at Ma'am Bel Gallardo, be creative. One of the things that you can do is to do peer review using rubrics. That is very, very good suggestion. Kasi diyan tayo na ng mga bata na, gusto nyo magsulat kami pero wala namang kaming feedback. Okay? Peer review at isama ang rubrics. Turuan ang mga batang gumamit ng rubrics para magbigay ng peer review. Kailangan silang turuan, no? So that's formative assessment. Formative assessment. Now, the other assessment within the lesson is called summative assessment. This is the evaluative na, okay? Evaluative na. Okay, subjective po kasi minsan may halo effect. That's why halo effect. That's why important. Yes, important, no? Pero I was talking about formative assessment. Okay? Oo, may rubrics. Aanhin ng mga bata ang rubrics. Turuan sila. Diba? Turuan sila. Use rubrics, yes. You need to teach them how to use rubrics to understand themselves. Pero ang corny naman, no? Sila na ngayon naggamuwa, sila pa yung ng rubric. Kailangan pa rin ng expert, diba? Expert feedback. The feedback of an expert. Paano ko yung partner niya sa peer review hindi rin magaling sa pag-essay? 'Di ba? Kamot sa ulo. Kaya there should be always an external expert feedback. Okay? Now, summative assessment, let's look at summative assessment. Ito na yung mga tests that will measure the mastery of content, performance standards, or all the skills and competencies that you have. Okay? So ito na yung mga nire-record natin, grade natin, and per DepEd, no, 2 summative assessment plus 1 term, end of the term examination, term end examination. So yun, this is very, very important, no, yung summative assessment. But notice as well ha, two summative lang yung sinabi. Okay, at least two. I think that's the one that they mentioned. Now, the other assessment that we have are the external, the national and other external system-wide assessment. They are not part of the lesson. Actually, they are strategically placed in certain months. Like for example, your national standardized assessment test, scheduled naman sila, and they are strategically put in months that are not too dedicated for them. Okay? Yeah. Okay, these are the assessment mentioned. Notice, parang wala namang pinagbago, 'di ba? Wala namang pinagbago. Ang ginawa lang ng three-term academic year dahil may prino-protect tayo na instructional time, ang ginawa ng DepEd at tong mga assessments na to, meron na silang kalalagyan. Intentional din yung kalalagyan nila. 'Di ba? Halimbawa, yung mga baseline data, doon ka sa beginning of the school year. Yung mga national external, hindi na lang siya dapat trip-trip lang, 'di ba? Kung saan-saan nilalagay, dedicated. And then because you have dedicated instructional time, may dedicated time dapat for formative and summative assessments. Okay? Yeah. Okay? These are the things that we've mentioned. Let's go to phase 1. Yan, health, diagnostic, social-emotional, nandyan na lahat yung mga dates. Okay? The testing dates are there. For those who were asking, no, the PowerPoint and the recorded video, we're just finalizing everything. We will be sharing via Facebook on our Facebook how to access the slides. We will be sharing the slides and a recorded video as well. So don't worry, we're just fixing where we can put it. Okay? Next, yung assessment, establishing actionable baseline data for the term. Ayan. Yung mga aral program, yung mga PhilErie, lahat yan, gagamitin nyo yung mga to para ayusin yung aral program nyo. Kung ano yung mahina silang skill, yan dapat ang tututukan for aral program. Literacy and numeracy, yan yung focus natin. Okay? Here, okay, this is the beginning of the school year sequence. A sample, from the DepEd memo. This for the 3-term. This is an example of how you can execute the 4-day beginning of the school year. Okay, if you read the memo, doon ko lang din po kinuha to. Okay, na layout lang ng mas maganda. But this is how it looks like. It's already programmed so that we stick to it. Okay, ayan. Now, like what I've said a while ago, this is the focus law. Just to remind ourselves again, the instructional block assessment cadence. So continuous yung formative assessment, walang tigil ang pagdidrill, di ba? Teachers, alam nyo ba na ang formative assessment, hindi lang siya yung mga worksheets, even yung mga think, pair, share. The formative assessment is not dependent on the format, di ba? Hindi just because nag-drill kayo, yun na lang yung mga accepted formative assessment. For every activity whose aim is to check understanding and monitor their progress, that's a formative assessment. I remember when I was a student, I remember sa math, yung may flashcards kami, yung mga batang 90s dito, I don't know, yung pinagawa pa kayo ng karton ata ng sigarilyo yung kinuha ng nanay ko noon na ginawa namin. Yung may mga flashcards, 'di ba? Tapos game. Yung mga yun, those are the drills that you do, 'di ba? It can be in the game format. That is something. Or in some schools that I observe, may mga whiteboard yung mga bata, yung parang si teacher nagpa-quiz. Walang budget si teacher or walang internet, hindi niya kayang magpa-online games. So ang ginawa ni teacher, whiteboard, taasan, blackboard, 'di ba? Taas your answer, your answers, things like that. So it could be gamification. Basta ang formative assessment po, ang goal niya is to monitor if they understood and to know where they are. If the activity, the goal is like that, whether drill, whether worksheets, whether games na flashcards, those are formative assessments. Siguro the proper term could be formative activities. Okay? Formative activities. Okay? Para continuous. And then, of course, you have your assessment, summative assessment, milestones. This is a formal evaluation or competency, mandated, strictly limited to exactly 2 teacher-developed summative assessment per term to protect your instructional time. And then lastly, you have your end of the term exam. Okay? Ayan. So the prescriptive summative schedule is on the screen. It's also from the DepEd memo. Okay, so you can also look at this. Okay? Now, for the term examinations, no, the memo says let's prioritize critical mastery. Wag lang siya yung parang wag mong itetest lahat ng mga competencies, lalo na yung mga broad. Ang dapat tayo mga teachers matuto tayong pumili, 'di ba may budget of work na? May libre pong budget of work ha. Don't buy budget of work, or minsan may mga binibili tayo. Let's not subscribe to those na parang nagbebenta ng mga libre naman. Okay? Just do kaunting research lang tayo or tanong. Sometimes the free documents are being sold by other people. Halimbawa yung budget of work, it's actually free. You can download on DepEd, di ba? So let's try to help one another. Okay? So when you design your assessment, you can prioritize critical competencies. Yung mga importante na kailangan na i-test. Okay? The term exam serves as the final summative evaluation of the term. Okay? The aim is to attain mastery and not simply breadth. Tayo kasi parang alam mo yung parang the idea of, mahilig ba kayong mag-snorkeling? Yung snorkeling at diving, anong pinagkaiba? Yung snorkeling, nasa shallow ka lang. Nung tinitignan mo lang, yung nagsiswimming ka, tapos inahanap mo lahat, never kang lumalalim. So, hindi mo rin ma-appreciate yung beauty ng coral, yung ganda ng mga formation ng mga reefs, kasi hindi ka makababa. Kasi gusto mo makita lahat. Yan yung breadth na tinatawag natin. We cover the breadth. Pero, mas importante ang lalim. Hindi mo kailangan tingnan lahat. Kailangan yung laliman mo din. So, tuturuan natin yung mga bata. Itetest natin sila mastery. Hindi yung parang alam ko lahat pero hindi ko naman na-master lahat. Mahirap naman yun. Diba? Mastery of important competencies tayo. Okay? So yeah, this is how the formative, it's a dual-sided feedback engine. Okay? Assessment for learning, assessment as learning. Ang formative assessment, hindi po yan nag-grade. Hindi po yan nag-grade. Actually hindi rin ako na parang, halimbawa, practice quiz. Practice quiz, you got 8/10. Anong ibig sabihin sa bata ng 8/10? Dalawa ang mistake mo. Ganyan yung ibig sabihin. Sa bata, ano yung dalawang mistake? Kasi dapat matuto yung mga bata na hindi lang number yung titingnan. Yung dalawang mistake ba yon? Anong mga skill yon? Dapat turuan natin yung mga bata na hindi numbers ang titingnan. Tayong mga teachers kasi, lumaki tayo, feeling ko lahat tayo, lumaki sa idea na numbers ang importante, grades ang importante. Mahirap lang tayo, anak. Kailangan mataas yung grades mo para magka-scholarship ka and everything. Natuto tayo sa gano'n na. Ako, I grow up with that, na kailangan mataas yung grade ko. Nakatutok ako sa numbers. But right now, it's important to teach the student maging matalino rin. Ako kasi, I remember when I was a student and I credit my principal and my class advisor, tinuruan ako. Sabi nila, Jim, hindi ka titingin sa number. Titingin ka or hindi ka titingin sa number ng tama o number ng mali. Titingin ka kung saan ka nagkamali. Ano yung mga skills na hindi ka marunong. Para pag nag-review ka, yun yung tututukan mo. I remember being taught by my principal and my class advisor kasi pambato po ako noon sa mga quiz bee, walang katapusang quiz bee sa public school, di ba? Numbers kasi yung iba, pero ang technique pala na maganda, and this was in the 90s, ang technique ng, study smart. Hindi ka titingin sa numbers, titingin ka kung saan ka mahina at dun ka magfo-focus. Turuan natin yung mga bata na ganun. Karamihan kasi ng mga bata, uy, 9/10, 8/10, okay na kasi nakita na nila yung number. Yung invisible doon, yun. Ano ba yung skill? Saan ka? Kasi pwedeng paulit-ulit lahat ng mga test pagdating sa summative. Yun na naman yung mali mo. May minus ka na naman. Kasi nga, hindi ka nagtumutok sa skill. So let's teach our students to study smarter. Turuan natin sila. Kasi that is the formative assessment. The idea of formative assessment. Okay? Next, yung summative assessment, no? The summative assessment could be something like this, no? It's a written work, tapos may performance task. Pwedeng yung written work mo, pwedeng long quiz, a unit test, okay? An essay. It could be also a performance task, okay? Performance task, di ba? Tatlo lang na summative, including term exam eh. Yung written work, performance task, and then term exam. Okay? A synthesis of everything. This will be mastery. Okay? Mastery. Of course, di ba, may DepEd memo na naman. Iba na naman yung scoring. Wala nang transmutation and everything. So, ibang topic naman yun. Ibang topic. Pag-usapan natin next time. But this is how you will do assessment of learning. Notice now, I'm gonna go back. Here, formative assessment has two dimensions. The first dimension is assessment for learning and assessment as learning. Natututo tayo sa ating mga pagkakamali. Yan. Pagdating naman sa summative assessment is assessment of learning. Ina-assess mo na kung meron silang mastery ng natutunan nila. Okay? There. And then of course, ayan, national assessments. Inulit-ulit ko lang, no, just to make sure that everything is very, very clear. Ayan. Meron na tayong yung mga NAT and CAE, yung mga ELNA, things like that. Okay? They are strategically at the end of instructional block or end of the term block para wala nang disruption sa mga students. Okay? Ayan. Very, very clear. Okay, there's a focus, there's a comment. Stigma po yan na sa grades po nakafocus. Tama, no? Parang ganun kasi, no? We grow up. I think our students, our pupils, usually look at scores like that. Kasi tayo mga matatanda, ganun tayo na train eh. Sana magsimula sa atin na matatanda, adults, na, you know, in the end, the grade will not describe who you are. It describes a little bit of who you are, but it will not say who you are in totality. Nakakatulong siya, pero it's not the end of everything. Diba? May mataas na grades yan yung ibang tao, pero they end up not successful, not a good person. So, hindi talaga grades yung basahan. Okay? Sabi nga Teacher John Jamil, it's quality over quantity. That's very good, Teacher John Jamil. If there's one thing, Jomil pala, if there's one thing that the 3-term DepEd calendar is teaching us or reminding us, it's quality over quantity. Quality over quantity. Thank you for that. That's a that's an excellent explanation. Ayan. So, just a review before I end our discussion. The diagnostic matrix comparing the 4 assessment pillars. Ayan. They have their primary purpose, and then pedagogical stance, graded or not, at tas ano yung mga tools. Okay? Ayan. Alright. Okay? So yun. Okay, and then the term map, okay? This is also a visualization of how the term timeline would look like. Okay? Basta yung pinapakita ko po dito, yung opening block, yung beginning of the school year, that's just for term 1. The rest is will look the same. All right? So, are there any questions? I'm gonna pause for a while. Okay? I'm gonna pause for a while and see if there are any questions. Okay? Sir, do we need to craft table specification? For a lot of schools, it's actually a requirement. So, it's really not a question of whether yes or no. Technically, yes. If you want to create a very good, a more aligned test, and more aware ka kung ilan yung items na i-dedicate mo sa critical learning competencies, the TOS is important. Pero iba naman kung policy. For some schools kasi they don't require, some private schools no. Di na kailangan ng TOS. Yung iba naman required sa ano. So let's look at the policies. If DepEd says required ang TOS, then it's required. That's part of your process. Okay? Ayan. Any other comments? Teacher Mark Angelo Fajardo says your potential is endless. Unknown. Baka yung unknown na yan, Sir Mark Angelo, ikaw na rin yan. I-claim mo na lang yan, ikaw naman nakaisip. Unknown kasi. Yeah, your potential is endless. Okay, and then from Teacher Maricel Blase? Correct, sir. Lalo na kapag naghanap ng work, hindi lang talino ang hinahanap ng employees, kaya dapat equip ang students. You know, I remember back in early 2000 when I was in college, there was a study that we read. They followed the life of a number of valedictorians. Yung mga valedictorian, there's a study, no? They track the success rate of valedictorians. Alam nyo, lahat ng mga valedictorians, yung iba doon, karamihan, hindi nag-end up na successful in life. Parang hindi lang talaga enough ang grades paging successful. Tapos may study din siya na kasama na paano nang yung mga bumabagsak-bagsak noon. Yung mga bumabagsak-bagsak noon, they end up successful as well. Kasi yung mga valedictorian daw noon, nasanay sila sa idea na dapat wala silang mali. So they're afraid to go outside the box. They're also afraid to experiment. Kailangan ang isasagot nila sa test or sa project yung ine-expect ni teacher. Yung sinabi na ni teacher. Ganon ang mga valedictorian daw, yung ganon. Pero yung mga bumabagsak-bagsak, kaya sila naging successful kasi there's no other way than up for them. Sanay na sila sa mga pagbabagsak, di ba? Sanay na sila sa mga mistakes. And the only thing that they can do is to learn from their mistakes. So, parang ganun yung study yung nangyari. Yung mga takot magkamali dahil pinoprotektahan yung grades, takot mag-experiment, takot go beyond the box, outside the box. Medyo hindi naging successful in life kasi na-imbibe nila yung pagkatao na gano'n. Okay? In the work, they're not innovative, they're not too risky, wala. Pero yung mga bumabagsak daw noon, ang gagaling daw. So, siguro ganun, no? Alright? Okay. Yung requirement, is there a requirement on the summative test? Wala namang specifically sinabi. I think it's important to look at the skills. Nakadepende kasi sa competencies mo eh. Kung for example, yung English for example, kung ang English first term or second term, your competencies is about letting the students mastering how to write an essay. Siguro yung summative assessment mo doon is an essay test. It's an essay. Kasi nakadepende yan sa competencies eh. Ano yung competencies? Pag ang competency ninyo ay about climate change, siguro mas performance-based. So I think yun. I think that's the primary idea behind summative assessment. Your summative assessment tool should be able to demonstrate or let the students demonstrate mastery. Kung essay, something about essay writing, sana hindi ABCD yung topic, yung summative nyo. Ang temptation kasi, madaling i-check ang ABCD. Teachers, minsan alam naman natin na essay na nga yung output. Dapat ini-ABCD pa na natin. 'Di ba? Minsan kasi, to be honest, I'll just be very honest and straightforward. Alam naman natin na ang outcome competency is about writing an essay or declamation of a poem that they wrote. Pero ang hirap kasing i-test yun eh. Ang hirap mag-check. Kaya ang gagawin mo na lang, mag-multiple choice ka, mag-true or false. So, yun. Alam naman natin mga teachers. Diba? It's just a matter of convenience as well. I'm not saying na ganun tayo, mga teachers, but I know that there are a few. Not all. Okay? Ayan, di ba may instant reflection pa tayo? Assessment ang topic natin. And we had instant reflections. 'Di ba? Okay. There's a good question, no? Do you think the assessment timeline po support learning progression, or are we simply fitting assessments into available dates? I think the three-term calendar says maybe it's realistically integrating everything. So in a calendar, so that we are more intentional. There are parang it sets guidelines. But I believe kung anong date, hindi naman tayo kailangan pare-pareho eh. Paano pag bumagyo sa Northern Luzon at hindi bumagyo sa Davao, dire-diretso lang sila? O bumagyo sa Palawan, nagkaroon ng lindol, 1 week silang klase. Alam mo yung ganun? Parang I don't think, prescribe po kasi yung word nila eh. We need to consider as well na there are also disruptions that may happen in local context. But the idea there is you should have summative assessment. When you have to do it in the ideal world, na walang disruption, sabay-sabay tayo. Sabi nga ni Marian Rivera, sabay-sabay tayo. Pero kung yung iba may lindol na at ano, siguro naman may leeway for us. Okay? Sir, sa instructional block po ba, kailangan every end of the lesson mag-summative? Not necessarily na. Kasi if you have, siguro, kaya nga di ba may long quizzes and long tests. Siguro, after 2 units, pwede ka doon mag-ano. If you, for example, in the instructional block, science, you have how many weeks? 10 weeks, tapos there are 5 lessons divided in 10 weeks. Baka you can divide na. Baka yung first 2 units could be a long quiz. So, not necessarily. Ang necessary is may formative assessments ka in each lesson. Okay? And our reflection, no, ang gaganda na reflection, yes, sir, dapat matutunan ng mga students ang lifelong learning. Walang challenge, sinuhulaan ang multiple choice. Yep. Lahat ba ng nasa budget of work kailangang matapos in a specific block? The idea is, well, like what I've said, in the ideal world, sana. But try to try. For example, in our school, naglalagay kami ng buffer week. Yung buffer week, yung parang nag-a-absorb ng mga, halimbawa, may bumagyo. So hindi mo ilalatag lahat yan. Mag-ready ka. Paano pag bumagyo? Paano pag ano? So I think you need to be more considerate of that. So maglagay ka ng buffer mo. Okay? Maglagay ng buffer. Floor the Wonders. Ayan. Floor the Wonders. Very long comment, but it's very good. I agree on this. Even in a BPO though, number is important for business because it's necessary. But when handling people, I always tell them that the numbers will not define who they are. It's a privilege to help yourself improve and learn. Yeah, very good. I think this is a very, very good reflection. Thank you, Floor. Teacher Floor. Ayan. Ayan. Are prerequisite topics completed before the assessment dates po kaya? Oo, prerequisite eh. It's hard to do, it's hard to teach a new topic kung hindi nyo na ba na-cover yung prerequisite. So, yeah. You need to do that. Kasali po ba ang remediation sa end of term before quarterly examination or need po ba na after na? I think it's after eh. Yung remediation sa end of term, instructional block, end of the term. Parang may ganun eh. Pero I remember meron din siya per day eh. Per day meron ding mga remediation aral integrated schedule. So, meron din siya at the end of the day. Sa opening block po ba, advisors ang mag-handle sa students the whole week? I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure how the nitty-gritty of things would happen. Okay. Is TOS required for term 1 and 2 summative? Parang, as far as I remember, the TOS is usually required for final test, the long tests, yung mga mahaba, end of the term test. Okay, need po ba i-unpack ang mga competencies? Ang kinder, if you look at kinder, meron na silang unpack learning competencies. Swerte ng kinder, meron na sila. But when I was looking at the other curriculum, you have the competencies, but you have to unpack into session objectives. Unpack the competencies and then they will be your targeted objectives per session. So apparently, you might need to unpack. Okay. For those asking about senior high school, yung mga electives, last time I heard DepEd will give guidelines daw. So yeah, let's wait for that. May I humbly ask, paano po kaya kapag wala sa BLW ang topic na nasa book? What do you mean? Ano, pag wala sa BL? Okay, may I humbly ask, ang focus kasi natin is budget of work, no? So, priority is to teach the competency stated in budget of work. Kung wala siya sa libro na ginagamit nyo, mag-research ka. Kasi kailangan mo pa rin ituro. Kung wala ang budget of work competency sa libro na ginagamit mo, hindi ka align pag tinuro mo pa rin yung topic na nasa libro pero wala sa budget of work. Hindi ka align sa curriculum. Gets ba natin? So, kung yung budget of work, wala competency, wala sa libro, kailangan mo pa rin ituro yan. Siguro mag-research na lang or whatever. Okay, gumawa ng resources. Pero, yung budget of work, meron kang gustong ituro sa libro na wala sa budget of work, baka sayang yung oras kasi hindi siya stated as competency. So, hindi siya need. Diba? Okay? Okay. I don't think we have any more questions. There are a lot of questions, but they're kind of the same. Is there a specified number of items? Walang specified number of items as of now. I didn't see any but look at the competencies. Kasi hindi rin naman item. Halimbawa kung essay, we don't count essay as item. So we need to make sure that yung percentages, usually tinitingnan din yung percentages. Kung ang summative assessment mo ay 30% at 30 items ka, medyo mabigat yun ha. Kasi one mistake is 1% out from the 30%. Parang ganun, di ba? Pag 1:1. So medyo mabigat. Medyo mabigat yun. At you need to look at the competencies. Try nyo balik, let's try to remember kung anong tinuro sa atin. Di ba? We have assessments. They usually teach that in assessment courses na huwag masyadong 1:1. Kung 30% yan, 30 items, kada mistake, 1% ang wala. Mabigat yan ha. Okay, mabigat. So, sir, what about references? What do you mean references? Books or websites? And I'm not quite sure, no. I think DepEd is creating some curriculum guides, but you're free to go. I think you can search online. A lot of good references naman online. Okay, ayan. Clear? Sa aral din po, advisors ba ang mag-administer? I'm not quite sure yet. I think they have a different memo for that. Okay. Required minimum written works, wala pa po eh. Per term, ang sa amin lang po, 2 summative assessments. Ayan. So, depende sa competency natin eh. I think, like what I've said, if you're a music teacher, ang competency nyo, makabuo sila ng kanta. Sana hindi assessment is ABCD. Diba? So we need to look at the competencies. We use assessment. Books daw, books. You need to be careful because some teachers are using books from publishers. Pwede na maging reference, pero yung photocopying and everything, you need to be careful kasi copyright violation usually. Okay? Okay, all right. Now, to help teachers, in Gabay we're actually launching we're actually launching 4 new AI tools that could help teachers. And these are the things that I'm gonna demo. Last week we demo a 3-term K-12 lesson planner. And if you have feedback though, message us. Halimbawa, yung output kulang pa, or yung DLL sana naka-align or so whatever. Iba kasi yung pina-follow na DLL, to be honest. We've done a research, but let us know, give us feedback, message us on Facebook para mabasa ng technical team. Okay? Now, 2 things that we're gonna demo today. Ayan, dahil assessment ang lesson natin, we will demo Formative Assessment Designer and Summative Assessment Designer aligned to the DepEd budget of work para gumamit tayo ng AI at mas madali ang buhay. Yan. So we will demo this. So go to gabay.ph or gabay.tagpros.us. So wait, I'm just gonna demo this. Share screen. Chrome tab. All right. Can you see my screen? Because I cannot see my screen right now. I'm just looking at the comment section and giving me feedback. Kasi hindi ko rin makita sa ano ko. Okay, can you see my screen right now? All right, okay. So I think you can see my screen. So go to gabay.tagpros.us. This is the website. Ayan. I think the team is showing where you would look into. Now, you can try Gabay for free. You just click. If you're using DepEd, DepEd email, you can continue with Google, and then it will log in immediately for you. I already have. You can try it for free and create your account. I already have an account, so I log in to my account. Yan. Log in. I'm just gonna log in. Very simple lang. Okay. There. Blurred po, sir. Nakikita niyo na? Okay, nakikita po. Alright. So when you log in, you will see the dashboard. In the dashboard, you will see different tools. The Teach Live with Classroom tools are your wheel of names, timers, flashcard, interactive tool that you can use in your class. So nandyan na yung wheel of names, word cloud, poll voting, ayan. Daanan lang natin to na mabilis. Timer, stopwatch. So kung ang dami yung subscription sa different apps or whatever, nandito na po lahat yan. Stopwatch, timer, noise control, seating arrangement, nandito na. Okay, this is our first AI tool. Okay, yung Teach Live with Classroom tools. You can use that. Okay, now, sir, paano yung mga AI tools ninyo? We have Gabi. Gabi is your interactive virtual assistant. Pwede kang magtanong kay Gabi. And then, yung mga yellow and orange nakikita nyo, sila yung mga individual AI tools that can help you create documents. So here, we have a 3-term K-12 lesson planner. So you just specify everything that you want, and then it will create your lesson plan for you. Okay, our topic for today is this. Okay, let's start with K-12 formative assessment. Okay, there are 2 steps. Step 1 is put your curricular alignment, and then step 2 is your assessment settings. Okay, ano yung mga settings ng assessment? Okay, let's start. Let's select, for example, grade 6. So the budget of work is already integrated here. Okay, grade 6, and then science, and then let's choose. So lalabas dyan ang mga different terms. You just choose which term. I want to choose first term, and then the week will follow. Week 1 to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? So let's look at physical and chemical change, week 3. So once you click, nandyan na lahat yung mga competencies na related. So you click what you want to assess. Yan. If, for example, marami kang assessment or maraming competencies, like for example, 4 to 6, you can simply click kung ano yung competency na gusto mong i-assess. Pwedeng wala naman siya dyan, pwedeng nandyan siya. So I wanna focus on, kasi mixture and separation, mixture muna ako. Okay? Mixture, hindi ko muna papakialaman yung separation. Okay? Kasi week 4 to 6 to So dalawang competency muna yung i-assess ko, formative. So, lalabas dyan kung ano yung i-assess mo. It's a summary. And then, sa step 2, you will do assessment setting. Multiple choice if you want. Formative to ha, so you can choose anything. Okay? I want multiple choice. And then the level of difficulty, yan, I want easy. The number of items, I want test, 10 items. What's my purpose? Okay, I want to do during the class assessment. And then, what's the language? English. I want the answer key. If you want the answer key, you just turn it on. If you don't want, turn it off. I want the answer key. Ayan, to show. And then from there, you already have your competencies and everything. Ayan. Just so to show, no, for those asking, this is until grade 11 and grade 12. So may senior high school po. So everything's here. Okay, for the sake of our experiment, grade 6 muna, science, and then generate assessment. All right. So we're generating assessment. It should be fairly quick lang. Okay. Generating assessment for now. All right. Ayan, the assessment is already, formative assessment is generated. It's already here. So look, now there are options. Okay, there are options here. You can download this as PDF. Okay, you can download as docx, and you can save this to your drive if you want to edit. So let's try to download, no? Okay. I don't know if you can see. I'm gonna stop sharing and then share my whole screen para makita nyo yung buong screen ko. Okay, share my whole screen. How do I do share my whole screen? Entire screen. Okay. Ayan. I'm gonna go back here. So I want to download the PDF. PDF. Okay, the PDF file looks like this. Okay, can you see? Can you see the PDF that I downloaded? It looks like this. Okay. And then, what if you download the Word? Kasi gusto nyo siya i-save offline. And edit. Download docx. And then it should open here. Okay. So you can now look at this. So you can now edit. Okay. Sir, paano pag gusto namin sa Google Drive? You can save to Drive. Okay. So save to your Google Drive. It will just ask for access to your Google Drive. Just grant access to your Google Drive. Ayan. Okay. Ayan. So once it shows you already have access, close this. Click Save to Drive. Okay. And then, once it's saved to Drive, just wait for it. It will open. Uy. Ayan. It should open and you can already edit your formative assessment. And there may disclaimer tayo ha na this is done by AI. Kailangan yung evaluate din. Alright? So let me know, is this something helpful? Is this very helpful to you, teachers? Ayan. You can have different options. If it's something helpful, then give us a heart or thumbs up. Okay? This is formative assessment. Okay? Meron din siya for Filipino. Ayan. Let's look at the subject. So, nandyan na lahat. May answer key? Yes, the answer key is included. The answer key is included here. Tapos, if you don't want the answer key, halimbawa, gusto nyo ready-made na, ipapasagot, pwedeng i-off ninyo dito. Include answer key. Ayan. You can turn it on or turn it off. Okay, now, eto na yung madugo. Sir, so pwede kayong mag-unli. Ilan yung gusto nyo? Depende kasi kung saan nyo ibibigay yung purpose. Pwedeng pre-assessment, formative, exit ticket, weekly check-up. Ayan. Next, how about summative assessment? Sir, meron kaming summative assessment. Ayan, K-12 summative assessment. Ayan. Iba lang yung format ng summative assessment. May nag-comment, yeah, but sana free ang site. Ma'am, July, 99 pesos per month lang to, ma'am. Huwag ka muna mag-Starbucks. Mas mahal pa nga yung Starbucks, di ba, Ma'am July? Kaysa sa 99 pesos per month. Huwag na muna kayong mag-Starbucks. Okay. Next, how about summative assessment? Okay. Grade 6, summative assessment. Let's look at science again para lang makita natin. Science. You want to create your summative assessment. You choose which term. First term, second term. First term, ayan. And then, ang maganda dito because you're assessing second term. Second term tayo. Because you're assessing different kinds of assessments, combination na kasi to eh. So the competencies are already here. So halimbawa, you want to create your summative assessment 1 includes week 1 and then week 2. You want to combine week 1 and week 2. Or, ayan, bahala ka kung gusto mo week 1 or week 2. Okay? May Filipino. Yes, may Filipino. Nandiyan, Filipino. The output is also Filipino. If the subject is Filipino, the output will also be in Filipino. Okay, summative assessment, science, ayan. I choose week 1 competencies and week 2. Now, let's look at assessment setting. Is it purely objective or essay? So pwede kasing dalawa. You can combine essay and short answer. So I want multiple choice and then I want essay. So 2 types of test in one test. Now, ito yung maganda. Anong thinking framework ang gusto mo? Revise Bloom's taxonomy, solo taxonomy, or walang framework? Bahala na. Kaya halo-halo. I want to, for example, use Revise Bloom's taxonomy. So, once you click your choice, maglalabas dito yung different levels. Okay. Yan. So, ilan ang recall? Ayaw ko na masyadong recall kasi summative assessment. I'll say 0 items. So, 0 items, 0 points. I want understanding. Ayaw ko din. Kasi HATS na to summative assessment. Ito. Now, I want application. 5 application, 1 point each. I want analysis of 5. Okay. 5, 1 point each. I want evaluative. Damihan ko yung application. Gawin ko 10. Okay, 10. 10 yung analysis. Okay, gawin ko ding, kasi mas mahirap yung evaluation, 5, 2 point each question. Ayan, 5 din yung create, 2 point each question. Ayan, so total of 40. Okay, ilan yung multiple choice ko na items? Kasi gusto ko, ilang items ba to? 20, 20, 30. So I want 20 multiple choice. Gawin ko siyang 25 multiple choice. And then, okay, 5 short answers. Okay? Now, English, do you want a rubric? Yes or no? Essay lang yung may rubric. And then you want it real life context? Pwede din. Okay? And then once you've done, you can generate na. Okay. The TOS generator and performance-based assessment, we will do that. We will showcase that next week. Okay. So we will still have a session on the last week. I think on the last week. So we will focus on performance-based assessment and TOS. Ayan. Okay, so we're designing, we specified. Yan yung maganda, no? We already specified kung ilan yung higher order or whatever. Ayan. So meron ka ng ganyan. Yay! This is your test. And then, naka-ano na siya, naka-label. Ano yung mga analysis? Ano yung evaluate? Ayan, nasa essay. Ano yung mga create? Ayan. Then you can download this. If you download this as PDF, and download this as PDF, it will show like this. Ayan. And then you're in DocX. If you want again, Docs, so you can edit. Ayan. It will show like this. It's already here. Okay. And then save to drive. I did not put answer key ha. I did not ask for answer key. Ayan. Okay, and then kaya wala kayo nakikitang answer key. I did not ask for answer key. Okay, here. So if you want to edit this in your Google Docs. Okay? So there. There are questions. So we have summative ayan, and formative. So right now, I will give you time to explore on your own. What we have created is, I want to favorite this para lumabas sila. Okay, yung 3-term. Okay, you can favorite, it will show here. Ito yung favorites. AI prompt cards 3-term. Okay, when you click on the star, they will show as your favorite. These are the new prompt cards. Next to on our next series, we will talk about project, performance task creator, and the TOS creator. Okay? Okay. Magagamit rin po ba ito ng senior high school? Yeah. We have old, yung mga old curriculum like yung grade 12, nakapasok na rin sila dito. Like yung sa lesson planner or let's check, no? You already have your grade 12 here. When you click yung grade 11, nandito na yung core subjects. Okay, the core subjects is here, pati rin yung mga TLE, Tech Pro. Ang dami-dami, no? Ayan. Okay. Yung grade 12, same with grade 12, you can use this as well. So all of the competencies are here. There are some of you who are asking, when you subscribe, I recommend that you start first with trial. Okay, let's look at I'll log out muna. Okay, let's look at your trial. So when you try Gabay for free, you can create your account. However, here, try Gabay for free. If you want to create, you will be given 14 days trial. So 14 days po yung worth ng trial nyo. Pag natapos nyo na yung credits or yung power, kailangan nyo na mag-subscribe. Ano po ba yung subscription? Bakit may subscription? How much? Okay? The pricing looks like this. Okay, I'll show you. Pag yung pricing, the pricing is this. The free trial is free, but it's only for 2 weeks. Now, 99 pesos for 1 month. You'll be able to use the Classroom Hub, yung interactive classroom tools natin, tsaka yung mga AI tools. That's the cheapest, di ba? Mas mura pa to kaysa sa Starbucks nyo, di ba? Or merienda. So wag muna kayong magmerienda ng isang araw, teachers. Or magtipid muna kayo, di ba? 99 pesos, 30 days. Magkano to? It's like 3 pesos per day. This is the cheapest AI that you can see. Okay? And then you can control. You have access, no? You have access. So, paano mag-subscribe? I can show you. Okay? So, log in. Once you create your account, what you can do is, nasa yung subscription page. Okay? May worksheet creator. Yeah, we have worksheet creator. Let's look at what you can do. Ayan, You can also do instructional. May rubrics designer. My resource builder, my visual worksheet wizard, and even PowerPoint slides. So you can do a lot here. Yan. Marami kayong pwedeng gawin. Okay? For teachers, you can also do research here, like brainstorm what you want to research. Pag may dilemma ka, observation, reflection, coach, lahat nandito. Even your professional development planner. Okay, it's here. Now, where do you subscribe? Sir, saan kami magsusubscribe? So you have your credits here, no? You just click, pwede dito, click add. So you can add credits. Okay? Or you can go to subscription here, subscription, and then you can choose individual plan, and then you just choose how much. For example, 99 pesos, yan. You want it 1 month or 3 months. Then you just choose pay now. So saan kayo magbabayad? Pwedeng GCash. This is GCash. Ayan. Thank you, Teacher Berlinda. She sent 50 stars. Ayan. Ayan. And then, here. Okay. And then you can just scan. Whether you want GCash or whatever, credit card or whatever, QRPH. And then you just scan and then it will just, very easy and very convenient. I think ano ba yung advantage namin? Sir, may nakita na kami mga ganyan. Yeah, I mean, we're not denying. We started back in 2024 and we already have like competitions or whatever. We're not looking at them as competitions, by the way, because we are all doing our job to help everyone. But at Gabay, we're a system. So your privacy and everything, it's actually protected. We don't get your data. We don't sell your data and everything. Okay? And so we will continue next meeting with the performance tasks, yung mga projects yung mga projects and product na output. Meron din po kaming ginagawa niyan. And the other one is yung books. Okay? The 99 pesos gives you access to all. Okay, I'm gonna just share one more time. Okay, if you read, no, you can read the subscription page and the pricing. So when you go to subscription, individual plan, if you look at 99, ayan, you get all access to prompt cards and everything. So that means you can access everything. Tsaka maganda, no, you can also have access here. Ito yung Teach Live with Classroom. Di ba gusto nyo ng mga wheel of names? Yan, mga flashcards. Every tool that you subscribe to is already here. At wala nang wala nang hindi na kayo gagawa ulit ng mga bagong email kasi naubos na yung subscription nyo. It's actually here. All the things that you need for a very interactive classroom. It's here. Wheel of names, stopwatch. Hindi ka na magbubukas ng mga multiple apps. 'Di ba? Mayroon ka pang poll voting. Mayroon ka pang word cloud. 'Di ba? Yan. Pwede ka rin alam nyo ba dito, pwede kang mag-upload ng mga PDF and images. So you don't have, it's not only the AI tools that you have, no? Sir, parang isang beses lang namin gagamitin to. Para mag-create, tas wala na. Sayang yung credit namin. Hindi. Kasi mayroon kang classroom tools, oh. Pwede kang gumamit ng mga to. So aside from content creation, you can also teach live delivery. Yan, live delivery. So, sulit na sulit in a way kasi you're not just creating content, you already have a tool that will help you deliver interactive class. Diba? Sa mga COT ninyo, you can use Gabay for your COT. Yeah. Right? Yan. So there, thank you everyone. It's been a great session. Don't worry, this is just, this is second, we still have one more and we're gonna show you yung TOS maker, yung performance assessment, performance task assessment maker as well. All right. So, ayan, natuto na kayo, alam nyo na kung anong gagawin nyo sa 3-term, di ba? Natuto na kayo kung ano yung ibig sabihin ng 3-term, ano yung assessment, meron pa kayong bonus na tools na pwedeng gamitin. So, wag nating pahirapan ang buhay natin teachers kasi may mas importante tayong kailangang gawin. Kailangan natin kausapin ang mga students natin. We wanna build a relationship. We wanna accompany them in their journey in life. Hindi natin magagawa yan pag masyadong maraming ginagawa. So, kung kayang gawin ng gabay, ibigay nyo sa gabay para makapag-focus kayo sa mga importante na gawain ninyo bilang mga teachers. Okay? So, our part 3, mag-skip lang tayo ng one Saturday. We're not gonna come back on Saturday. Instead, our part 3 will be on May 30. And May 30, we will talk about personalizing learning. Diyan papasok yung performance task, yung TOS maker, tsaka yung classroom HQ. Ipapakita namin yung classroom HQ tools so that you can deliver classes lively para ma-check nyo yung mga COT ninyo na naghahanap ng mga technology and engaging classes. Thank you everyone. Have a great day. The team will show the QR code for 5 minutes so that you can answer them. Just wait lang po for the certificates. This is automated but we're around 1,000 plus ata na watching around the Philippines right now, so it may take some time, but automated. So yung mga mauuna, you will already get your digital certificate. If you did not receive yet the evaluation from last week, send me an email or send us a message and we will give you the email of where you can answer it. All right? So thank you everyone. Have a great Saturday. Enjoy the rest of the summer break and we'll see you on May 30. Have a great day and God bless us all.